I think you'd be great at it, he stammered, half under his breath and mostly disengaged from the conversation. He was done and satisfied and back to shifting through a disorganized mess of car lease applications and repossession statements. I was still wiping his cum off my fingertips. I was too young. Too young to know that stretching the skin of his cock at his pleasure with hands and mouths and other mouths was not the way to keep his signature off my statement of repossession. No one had thought to tell me. There were many things that no one had thought to say. Logics created by small girl minds and reinforced by a world bent on crushing them into submission. And I submitted. Payment after payment, I submitted body to lustful, oil-stained, merciless hands, subjected mind to blank spaces, sacrificed spirit for the sake of economic credibility. Yeah, I think you'd be a natural, he continued. I don't know, I'm not really much of a dancer, I almost whisper in response, looking around the trailered office space for a cleared spot I could set down the oil cum-stained mechanic's rag. I was still wielding it around as a dried-up testimony of payment. No, you don't really need dancing experience. You just need the right body and the right attitude. My friends, they're going to want you to do things, you know? Like the things you do for me. But I'm telling you, the money is amazing. Other girls I have sent them come back telling me they're making upwards of $2,000 a night. You'd be making more than me. He scoffed at the tail end of a fake, envious tone. I puked a little in the back of my throat and swallowed it. I wasn't disgusted, though. I heard $2,000. I saw the 4 jobs I had. I felt the polyester stick to my back with the glue of the sweat behind a Dunkin' Donuts counter. I smelled 300 cream no sugars pass through a sliding window, car after endless car, hour after hour, 10 in a day, 60 in a week, $350 paycheck every other. I saw months of labor equal to one night of shame. Not even. Shame is a luxury of a feeling. I saw awkwardness, at worst. I felt uneasiness at the dissatisfaction of my current dancing abilities. I feared inadequacy and competition, but I didn't think twice about rape. I saw a water cooler. I threw the rag on it and thanked him and walked out. Yes, you heard right. I fucking thanked the man. I head straight for home and straight for my stereo. I flip through a few CDs and find the one I've been daydreaming of the whole ride home. Mine, practicing body moves. I skip to track 9, Forever by Drake. It's hot. I pull off layers to adjust temperature and prepare flesh. I can do this. It's just dancing with a pole. I don't know what it is about this song, but it really pumps me up. I mean, I want this shit forever. The madness of the moment, the fire that never settles in the pit of my stomach, the spirit that never tires no matter how little I sleep or how long I walk or how hard I work or how many times lips are parted for strange unwanted ravishing of young girl. The spirit of a girl is impossible to drown. She can scream from underwater. She can dance atop flames. That was the shit that I wanted forever. The inability to give up or give in or let go of the force of life. Endlessly destroyed, but never defeated. But, as great of an anthem as it served to be, a dancing tune it was not, so I flipped to Sweet Dreams by Eurythmics and switched gears. It felt like a decent attempt, but I soon realized that regardless of how it felt, I had no idea what I looked like. So I ran to the bathroom and dismounted the mirror and set it over the dresser. Perfect. The shirt had to go too. Too bulky to detect the intricate movements I was bent on perfecting. The jeans could stay for now. They hugged my flesh hips just right. The first 50 attempts were the furthest thing from sexy you can imagine. Hips literally learning to distinguish from body. A body in gross motion, a body in pain, a body in hiding, a body learning to please, a body disassociated, a body knowing sex without consent, a body... Oh, yeah. That's it. I got it. I had it. I had mastered precious sexy. I had tapped into the extortion of innocence. I was seductively adorable and surprisingly naturally inclined to rhythm and tempo. And I fucking loved it. Dancing is the closest thing I have ever known to love. A body self-sacrificed, at the mercy and in the hands of art, cradled and rocked and rhythmically controlled. I love being controlled. Pin me down and tie me up and leave me begging for hours. Seriously. Shut the door, go sit down on the couch, binge watch your favorite show, and turn up the volume loud enough to drown me out. Got it. Mirror back over the sink. I had an address, I had a time, I had an addition. I had 2.5 hours to get there. I had to go. This is the part where I love to embody the audacious badass nature of Kathy Acker and contrive some dark and sensual scene of the bitchin' feminine hero who busts through sleazy establishments and creates chaos. But those were dreams, and I was the farthest thing from chaotic. I was meek. I am tender. I love to be controlled. I was scared. Disorder meant I had run out of money again, that I wasn't eating again. And I was so scared all the fucking time. Somehow simultaneously terrified and endlessly courageous. I was every girl there ever was. At the door, he was dark and stern and staring and lusting through my skin, hungry and wanting and expecting. My flesh half accepting his grip and my body limp. But instead, he pulls out a black beeping stick and grazes my arms and thighs. You're fine. Go ahead. It is dark, and red and black doors and heavy curtains and the smell of dried cum and liquor. I am nervous. Although I know my dancing skills are something eerie magic, they are also newly acquired. I stumble into a room of competition. My body is girl tiny, but also tiny girl filled and healthy. Are these bodies better? Is smaller better? I want to lean over and ask, whose body is better, yours or mine? I want to lean over and lay my exhausted heart in her lap, or in her hands, or on her shoulder. I want one of them to be my mother, or my sister, or my savior. I want all of them to be my lovers. In the midst of competition and motherly lust, I immediately fall in love with every single one. I watch eyes intently. I watch them flick up to meet strange sounds and knobs twisting. I watch them fall to the floor and stare hard and cold and defeated and taken and knowing. The door opens. He steps in, loud and heavy. Jennifer. 3 of us stood up. Foley. For fuck's sake, Jennifer Foley. I remain standing. He leads. I follow. We end on a black wooden stage, pole, dead center. He instructs me to stay and joins 2 other men below. He sits, lifts glass to his lips, clinks teeth, says nothing. Music starts. I stare into the faces of all 3, deep. I walk forward, past the pole, to the edge of the stage. I sit. I take off my shoes and set them down by my hips gently. I lean back excessively to remove my coat and scarf and find feet on floor. I stand still. Then, ever so gently, I start to sway, click my head side to side to match tempo. I crack the tiniest edge of a smile and lose self. Time passes. The music is cut. It is suddenly fucking freezing. My clothes lay all over the stage. My body shoots ache and adrenaline to my brain. I am drunk and high, and I can't see anything but silence. The room comes back, the space to follow. The 3 faces stuck and staring in awe and lusting and hard wanting. I swallow puke in confidence until both find their way back down to my stomach. Strange hands find my waist. One of them has jumped up. Baby girl, you are perfect. Baby girl. I've always wanted to be someone's baby girl. Lust. The expression of a body's wanting. I fucking adore it. No matter how many times it is taken from me without permission, I still follow. Lust has gotten me into quite the time of it lately. I've come into a bit of heartbreak. And by a bit, I mean a screaming heart in wanting. Unrequited but unconvinced, sobbing naked in bed with absolutely no desire to put clothes on. Forehead glued to the window pane, expecting. I am a goddamn walking Lumineers song, prancing around the street at night, singing at the top of my lungs. The unknowing dwellers of every apartment on First Ave from University to Grape Street must think I'm fucking nuts. Not nuts, just a broken-hearted boy. Though I suppose there's little distinction to be had between the two. I was her baby girl. Sometimes I was her baby boy. Baby girl, you are perfect. Her hands trace the divot of my pelvic muscles. They scream for her to continue as my flesh struggles away in an aching of a want. She, who tied me up and asked me to give and told me to take and made me beg and left me wanting. I've known lust in so many ways, but I've never known it like I've learned it in heartbreak. The space between sleep and wake, every fucking morning, my flesh reaches for her still, in that precious space that has forgotten. I bind myself to my bed. I tie my ankles first, the last wrist with my teeth. Every limb spread and wanting, I scream and beg and wait and sweat into sheets I should have burned months ago. But I am human, and sheets are fucking expensive, and I prefer to run. And run I do, far away to wet green and fireplace seduction and stillness. I find old courage, the courage of tiny me before it was taken. I drown myself in aunt cuddles and venture out to bars of bondage, places to give my body. My body is always wanting. It's a heavy door. I'm drenched from organ skies. The lighting is dim and powerful. Hi, I'm Sage. Hi, Sage. She's tall and dark and gorgeous and hiding behind an array of liquor and tall counters. I lean and smile and set my chin on my forearms. I'm looking for the kinky women's munch. She scans every ounce of my flesh from foot to ear and bites her bottom lip and lays her chin on her hands a few inches from my face. You see that corner table? And the three others pushed up against it. Mm-hmm. They usually take up that whole side of the bar. Okay. Thanks. Mm-hmm. Oh, and Sage. Yeah. I usually join them. She reaches below the bar and pulls up a soft black rope and pushes it towards my fingertips. Make yourself comfortable. I reach for the rope. What are you drinking?
It was Oliver Sage Foley.